Hello, everybody. Hi, Rubia. Welcome. Good evening. You are the first one here. What state are you in? Hi. Oh, you're in Florida. What's the weather doing there? It's raining cats and dogs here again in Kentucky. Hi. Yes, I'm live. Yes, I am still alive. Yes, that's, that's a positive thing here because, my neighbors, they're nutso. They're trying to kill me. Hi, welcome, Planetary Healing, our little wrench, our moderator. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. It's raining. It started raining like about a half an hour ago again. It's supposed to rain until tomorrow morning. It's like we haven't had enough rain. It was like that when I moved here in May of 2019. It was raining so hard on the way over here, we had to pull over. Oh, you're expecting winds there too. Did you hear about Texas? They had like not baseball, like larger than golf ball size hail. It was unbelievable. I've never seen that in Texas. It was crazy there. Well, this is what happens when they're modifying the weather. It's not normal. None of this is normal. Last night, we had that fog that everybody talks about. I had my flashlight up, and it wasn't just, moisture in the air. It was really very ominous. And it was a very thick, um, like a heavy mist, a foggy, heavy mist. And it's not like we don't get some fog here normally because we're in the valley surrounded by trees and stuff. So you get the contrast between, the moisture. Yeah, yes, it's not normal. It's just not normal. And everybody's talking about it on like other YouTube channels, other creators that are not targeted people, or at least they don't think that they're targeted. Yes, the weather is just off the charts everywhere. Tornadoes, storms, and we're in April. It doesn't make sense, but we did have the eclipse, and eclipses also bring about all kinds of changes. So there's a lot of planetary action going on that would indicate negative weather conditions. Of course, with a little help from the criminals in the air. Hi. I love that. Targeted targeted by narcs. That's a good one. That's a good one. Please hit the thumbs up, guys. I see 6 people here and 0 thumbs up. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. I love reading some of your not only your comments but the handles you create for yourselves are hilarious. Targeted by narcs. I don't know. Did anybody get a chance to see my my video posted a little earlier? I'm cleaning up around my property because it really is a disaster. I'm photographing, I'm photographing, videotaping, putting my phone down, picking it up, and then some loser neighbor drives by that I've never met before. Have no idea who she is. She gets out of her car, stops. She stops her car, gets out of her car, starts telling me that I'm a psycho. I'm thinking, please get me out of this twilight zone. This is the kind of reality that I don't want. I mean, it's torture enough being asset stripped and harassed, but at least the people in New Jersey that were harassing me were educated and somewhat normal. I mean, this is like these people are totally nuts. Yeah, it is a projection. It absolutely is a projection. So off the nuts. That's a good one. Yeah, your new handle should be called "Handle This." LOL. I think my next handle will be I don't know, Pluto power or something like that. Be something astrological. You bet his Tina Booth was from Kentucky. Oh my goodness. Well, I know she's in New Jersey, Hazlitt. I think it was Hazlitt, New Jersey. I mean, this is a woman who was newly hired at that place, and I go to her Facebook at the time, and she's parading her underage daughter in like a bathing suit online. Like, I would never put photos of my daughter in a bathing suit on Facebook. What are you kidding? Like, what kind of well, she's not a therapist. You know, at the time that she was employed there, she had like a 2-year degree and a few weeks training at this place, and that's it. And I already had my master's degree in psychology. And like she's like looking at me and saying, "Oh, well, you didn't sleep last night? Oh, you must be X, Y, and Z. You didn't sleep last night." Okay, so I get into the EMS truck and I turn to the EMS guy. I said, "Oh, you must be like really busy all the time." And he says, "Yeah, I am." I said, "I bet you don't get much sleep, do you?" And he says, "No, I I only slept X, Y, and Z hours." And it's like, really? And the cop that's sitting there, he's like looking up in the air because like they're just like analyzing me and diagnosing me because I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before because up with my dying cat. And meanwhile, this guy that's running the EMS truck had less sleep than me. And he's treating people. Okay, so this this is really good news. I feel so safe. So how's everybody doing? What's the weather doing like by you? I mean, the weather's crazy everywhere. It doesn't matter. I mean, and then I listened to this YouTube creator Patrick Humphrey. You know, he kind of gives the news and stuff, and it's like every night he posts like 2 videos or whatever, and he'll start out always, "This is big breaking news," and it's like, oh no, like what else is it going to be? Hi, Ace of Cups, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. Yes, maybe my next, YouTube handle will either be, astrological or tarot based. Maybe I should just set up a lot of personas like everybody else and Let's Pretend. I don't even have the time. The Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords. Oh, that's too funny. I'm actually not the Queen of Swords, but that I feel like the Queen of Swords. Yeah, I'm actually not the Queen of Swords. That's so funny. Yeah. Rainy, foggy, awful. This is how it's been for most of March as well. Oh, the weather's just been, I mean, all I can say is bizarre. We had 4 weeks of snow being on the ground. Snow, like below 20 degrees. It was freezing, like even 8 degrees, below 0 degrees. Then it warms up a little bit. We've got the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. Then we get like 80 degrees. The grass is growing, and then the grass starts growing, and we have inches and inches of rain. So by the time the grass gets cut, which I'm going to have to do by myself because they destroyed my lawnmower, my ride-on mower. Yeah, chemtrail snow stacked up, not normal. Yeah, this is not normal. None of this is. None of it. And everybody's talking about the weather conditions because what happens is this really affects farmers. Yeah, April showers, looking forward to the May flowers. Yeah. Well, these criminals have been raking up my property. They have raked up all of the foliage, exposing tree roots and stuff. I'm just going to have to buy truckloads of soil and rock and stuff to cover this stuff up. Yeah, and then watch what will happen is what usually happens here is it'll start to warm up, and then we'll get this one day where the temperatures will plummet and kill everything that you planted. So I learned my lesson because I think it was like 2 years ago, no, 3 years ago. I planted so much stuff according to what I would do in New Jersey. I'd start planting in April. But then we got some really bad weather. I think it was in May, and it just destroyed everything. So I got a late start that year in planting. Planting in June, and then of course when my mother passed away, I got a really late start planting. But these criminals put so many weeds in my garden beds deliberately that I'm going to have to rake them all out. So it's going to take me extra time to do anything. So I found out some really interesting information about my father recently. I want to scroll back up here because people have asked me if how. Hi, Elsie, welcome. We all want to know how we became targeted, like who ratted us out, who put us in the program. And of course, there could have been multiple people throughout your life that have reported you. But my father was definitely targeted. And my biological brother is too, but I didn't know it. I didn't know it back then because I just assumed that because he smoked so much weed. Yeah, it is absolutely. Yep, bizarro. That's a good way of putting it. I thought that, because my brother smoked so much weed that he was like hallucinating, that he was delusional. It was about all these things. He would tell me that he's being zapped at night. And I'm thinking he just smokes too much pot. But he really was being zapped at night. And he was getting V2K, which, who knew back then what that even was? So my younger brother was targeted physically before I ever became targeted that I'm aware of. And my father was targeted way before that when he worked at IBM in the International Research Department. Am I buffering? Yeah, they don't want me to. They don't want me to talk about this. Is it buffering? They don't want me to talk about this. Yeah, IBM. My father worked at IBM in the International Research Department. And my father invented a lot of things that I only thought he invented a couple of things. He was very creative. Like he was a chess champion, and he could paint, he sculpted, he played the harmonica, he collected antiques, he'd fix antique clocks, he collected Tiffany lampshades. He had his own antique store at one time. But there were things that I didn't know that he invented. So I'm going to scroll up here, see if I can find it. Um, um, um. So one of the conversations they had is that Dad's inventions were way more important and the world needs to know about it. He was the Leonardo of our time period and didn't get credit for it. And we are his kids. That's what my half brother tells me. Oh, you got it's back. What? You have a creepy voice? Is there any creepy voice going on? I don't hear anything. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Oh, you hear the creepy voice? Yeah, I can't hear it on my end. Now, meanwhile, I had this long message here, and some of it disappeared. It's almost like somebody got rid of it. So the conversation was, I'm wondering if there's a statute of limitations and they wear off over time. I know he invented those things and got paid independently. And in his team at IBM, he was the first to draw on a computer. And the concept of CGI was possible. First to send a digital image through a phone line. He was the first to come up with an icon on a desktop idea. I wonder if he was erased off the map. I did actually a patent search and I could not find my father's name. My father worked on a boat invention while working on the analysis of the oil rigs and a ski boot release while working for Nordic and designing their logo. So my father worked for Nordic and designed their logo. It was a contract, but they got credit for it and just paid him. And all of the messages before this that I was looking for just miraculously disappeared. I think somebody got into my phone. No, my father was really, really smart. He was very different. He was quite unique. Your father worked for AT&T? How long did he work for AT&T? Hi, con artist. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I was looking for information on a conversation that I had via text message, and some of the texts disappeared. I think we're onto something. I think that they don't want me to discuss it. All the things that my father invented that I didn't know that he invented, that other people took credit for. 20 years. So was he with when he was at AT&T for 20 years? Did he stay there when AT&T split? You know, what was it called, a divestiture or something? I had a friend that worked at AT&T, and she was going to retire from there and get a pension. And about, I don't know, a year before she was about to retire, they tell her that she has to relocate to another state. And she couldn't. So they were going to fire her so that she wouldn't be able to collect her pension. Oh, it's horrible what they were doing to people. I just remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. I purchased a book. I was looking for books on mobbing, and it's kind of difficult to find. There's a lot of information that is kind of scrubbed from the internet. But this is a book, Mobbing, Emotional Abuse in the American Workplace. This is an important book. It sheds light on great suffering and proposes ideas to reduce this suffering. Until evil is named, it cannot be addressed. This book names mobbing a common and bloodless form of workplace mayhem and proceeds with brilliance to show its roots and possible cures. You're not hearing anything? I am talking. Let me just write something in here. Um, 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 um. I'm in the wrong place. Yes, I do remember. Well, I'm old enough to remember phone booths. And I had like a little princess telephone. First, I had the one that you just use your finger in and you spin it around the dial phone. And then I graduated to my little princess phone with the little push buttons. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Because I thought somebody said that they couldn't hear me. Rubia, you can't hear me? Ace of Cups can, Rubia can't. Is there anybody else that can't hear me? Let me just. Okay, good. You can hear. Okay, good. There was a Dr. Lehman or Lehman, Leymann. He's the person who first defined mobbing. Oh, yeah, that could be it, Rubia. Sometimes you have to exit and come back. I've done that too, where I've pressed a button and I do something. So Dr. Lehman first defined mobbing at the workplace in Sweden in 1984. He wrote that mobbing was psychological terror involving hostile and unethical communication directed in a systemic way by one or a few individuals, mainly towards one individual. The person who is mobbed is pushed into helpless and defenseless positions. These actions occur on a very frequent basis and over a long period of time. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear you're back and you can hear me. Yes, yes. That's happened to me too. Both Brodsky and Lehman stress the frequency and duration of what is done. And I know that earlier definitions of mobbing, the definitions between bullying and mobbing is usually, individuals on one person, And mobbing involves a person in a position of authority who's aware of it, but either chooses to do nothing, chooses to participate, um, or turns a blind eye when they're in a position to do something about it. Oh, your father. Okay, your father was in publications. AT&T was huge. It was huge. There was a huge AT&T New Jersey. In fact, one of my ex-boyfriends worked there. Worked on some technology there. I don't know. He like invented some networks or something. On all of those telephone companies, the politics are really bad. I mean, this is going to sound crazy. I had so many boyfriends, but I dated a guy who worked for Verizon, and he was a network engineer. First, he was a network engineer, and then he went into management where he was managing the network engineers. And he said that a good majority of the workers there are on pharmaceutical drugs because they can't handle the stress of working there. They're on antidepressants, antipsychotics. Um, it was horrible. They work people very hard there. I would not want to work for a phone company. So in 1988, Andrea Adams, a journalist, was the first person to draw attention to the bully phenomenon in the United Kingdom through a BBC series. And then again in 1992, in her book Bullying at Work: How to Confront and Overcome It. Bullying, in her use of the term, is about persistently finding fault and belittling individuals, often with a consenting management. That's the key. Consenting management. Hi, Fred. Welcome. Oh, yeah, those towers, they're everywhere. I think that working in those very big corporations, like AT&T, Verizon, IBM, that have department after department after department, it becomes very competitive. Hi, yes, workplace mobbing. I have not worked in a workplace in a long time. And plus, in my later years working in corporate, I was the HR manager. So I was kind of in charge of the staffing and the recruiting and stuff. So I didn't receive that kind of a backlash to me at that stage. But I remember when I was like a secretary, administrative assistant and stuff, there'd just be a lot of nitpicking and jealousy and envy, and people that didn't work. They like lay back and talk on the phone and just running to the bathroom all the time and just not working. And you'd look at them, it's like, how's anything getting done? They're not even working. Oh, the intellectual property theft at work? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, I've had my intellectual property work stolen by my immediate manager who didn't give me credit for it. Yeah, they steal ideas, they harass, they bully the innovator and erase them in their contribution. They did that to my father. They did that to my father, they did that to my brother. I'm coming to realize that my entire family was targeted. Um, I guess, I guess they think about the children of my father, and my father had a very high IQ. Brothers were, my brother and my half brother are really intelligent. And our entire family, I've come to realize, is targeted. I think my mother was somewhat spared because she worked for attorneys for 32 years. Either that or she was totally unaware of it. I mean, she did become targeted probably like the last, I'm going to say at least 5 or 6 years of her life that I'm aware of. Maybe even before that time. It could have even before that, but I don't know everything that was going on in her life. Yeah, and just think about the brain hacking now with the use of technology. Yes, they take your ideas. Hi, SDL, welcome. You made it. Yeah, it's very invasive to not only be surveilled, but to hack your brain, to know what you're thinking. I mean, that is a total violation of all kinds of rights. Unfortunately, there have been no laws passed about it. And then how do you go about proving it? Yeah, middle management, that's for sure. Well, I guess at some point in my life I was middle management. Planetary Healing says, when I graduated from undergraduate, I got a real job. They gave me a corner office that another woman had and moved her desk into the shared suite in front of my office just to hurt her. That's mean. How did you feel about that? That must have been, you know, I mean, it's nice to have a nice corner office, but it's shitty that it was deliberately done to another person. In 1997, a trust named after Andrea Adams was created to assist victims of bullying. The trust commissioned research on the extent of bullying and abusive emails in the workplace. They found what they called an explosion of flame mail or electronic bullying, sexist and racist abuse, including voicemail. Yes, they try to pit you against you. It's like a game they play. It's sadistic. It's very sadistic. It's like they want to. It's like a game for them. It's amusement. Tim Field was another British author, and he has written Bully in Sight in 1996. It's a detailed handbook on how to identify and deal with bullies in the workplace. He defines bullying as a continual and relentless attack on other people's self confidence and self esteem. The underlying reasons for this behavior is a desire to dominate, subjugate, and eliminate. Additionally, Field includes the perpetrator's denial of responsibility for any consequences of his or her actions. And the term bullying is used in the United Kingdom and some English speaking countries to identify many actions that Lehman terms as mobbing behaviors. It appears that both terms are being used somewhat interchangeably. What is meant by bullying is what is meant by mobbing is somewhat blurred at the moment. And then there was a book published in 1998 called Violence at Work, written by Duncan Chappell and Vittorio Di Martino. In this report, mobbing and bullying behaviors are discussed alongside homicide and other more commonly known violent behaviors. I'm just reading your comments. They want to see who can suck up the most. Sucking contest. Oh my goodness. They do attempt to pit us against each other. Ruby says, oh, okay, many took their lives. Sorry, my father had a hobby of flying. Started his career. Oh, your father was a Navy pilot, flying his Grumman American Chira kept him sane. Well, I wonder if your targeting is because your father was a Navy pilot. It's very common for children of military to become targets. And my father was in the Army too. And I think that's how he got his job at IBM. Oh, your dad was in the Navy also. Well, that would be really interesting. Maybe I should post that questionnaire on my community page. How many of your parents were in the military? I'd be so curious to see the results of that. Yeah, exactly. Conrad says, agree. The program's being paranoid. You would wonder, what did dad share with his kids? And what did he tell his wife? Well, hi, Lori. Welcome. Oh, that's so interesting, Lori. Well, the Kay Griggs interview is fascinating. What is it, like 5 hours long? And her husband, who she finally divorced, military guy, was drunk all the time. He was inebriated all the time, working, giving orders to his troops under the influence of alcohol and who knows what else. And he kept a diary, no less, and would talk to her endlessly about all the things that he was doing, etc. And then, of course, one of my subscribers who has provided testimony, she was married 15 years to an army general who she says he's like a closet gay. Sometimes guys get married just as a cover. And this is nothing against if you're gay. I mean, I don't care. But I mean, if you're gay, then don't get married to a woman, as a cover up. Just admit what you are, and that's it. And if you're going to be in the military, stay straight and sober. I mean, that is disgusting. That Griggs interview is amazing. Yeah, well, there are a lot of guys that are closet gay. I'm sure that there are a lot of politicians that are gay, and who cares? But then don't get yourself a wife and play let's pretend, you know? Yeah, she does talk about the targeting. And she talks about the character traits of many of these military guys. She says that they're immature, they hate women, they're drugging, a lot of them are gay, bisexual at the very least, they're perverted. I mean, I think it was in the first 7 minutes of her testimony. She said it all in the first 7 minutes. Yeah, yikes is right. Yikes is right. I had to replay that first 7 minutes a few times to get what she was saying. It's like, I've been thinking this all these years, but here she is really like driving it home. And then it was around the same time that I saw a podcast. I've never watched this one before, but the discussion was, is the military a cult, not a cult, OCCULT, a cult, CULT. And through the whole discussion and everything, it was determined that the military is, in fact, a cult. Yes, yes, that they have to marry, exactly. Well, it's a cover up. Yeah, they have to marry a woman. Yep. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Imagine being that woman for all of those years, knowing that your husband is a liar, right? That the whole marriage is a lie. I know it happens to a lot of people. It happens to men and women. Absolutely. Planetary Healing says, I think there are many layers of this program, but at the roots it's just pure evil, period. It is. It's pure evil. And unfortunately, like back in the day, I was so naive. I never considered that there was this kind of evil. I mean, I remember watching things about the Holocaust and reading books about it and learning about it growing up and thinking that that was evil. I remember watching that movie, The Deer Hunter, and thinking war is evil. But it was always like watching things that were happening overseas in other places. But the fact that this has been going on in our country for decades, this underlying covert program involving politicians and military and corporations, and they claim it's a secret, 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 and nobody's writing about it except us because they're silenced. It's horrible. I mean, I've been like trying to find information on mobbing, real estate mobbing, property mobbing. This is a thing. This is something that's been going on for decades. I can't find any books on it. I found some old books on it. I'm thinking about writing my own book. I think I bought all the books that I could possibly find. Planetary says, River, hi, you missed Vaseline and knee pad stories. Please remember to hit, hi, River Bluff, remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. Oh, River Bluff, what did you miss? Let's see. We were talking about mobbing in the workplace. We were talking about weather really early on, how crazy the weather's been. The creepy voice came back a little bit. Hi, welcome. I received a comment under the video that I posted a little earlier today. Cleaning and videotaping flood damage. An unknown neighbor stops the car and gets out, harassing me. Uh, Cagey Dub says, what did she say about Facebook? She assaulted you doing that. I know you know that. I just wanted to bring that to the obvious. That's assault. Battery is physical harm. She says, I'd love to come and stay with you. Oh no, the people around here are totally nuts. And then another person says, that woman sure jumped fast when she saw you were recording her. There's no justification for her cursing you. What the hell is she stopping there for? Right where the damage is being done. I think they're probably getting attention with your video documentation. All of my videos and pictures disappear. I hope and pray that your situation gets resolved in your favor. Keep up the good fight. You make my problem seem so small. God bless you. And then she says, what is she doing? Parking her car in the road and getting out for while on the phone? And she admits she knows who you are. And she just told on herself. They scatter like roaches when you get them on video. That's the tell all. Yeah. And I don't know that woman. Yes. Hi, KG. Welcome. Welcome. Hi. I was just reading your comments here and reading them out loud. Is that woman? I don't know her. Next month, I will be here 6 years. And I have never met that woman. I have no idea who she is, but obviously now I know where she lives. I have no idea who she is. And she's telling me I'm psycho. It's sort of like my neighbor driving down the block while I'm working here, and she's screaming at you belong in an insane asylum. It's like I don't know what these people are taught. Like, are these people brainwashed or something? I feel like I'm living in the twilight zone. I'm feeling living among the Stepford wives or something. Yes, I was reading your comments. Oh, that's so funny, planetary healing. She says, the local FBI agent and his handler were taking a walk downtown once and literally asked me, do you want to be in the club? I was like, nah. Then someone purposely left a join the club ad on, on her porch. No, I don't want to be in your club. Sorry. I hear some critters on my porch. They're eating cat food. Oh, okay. Yes, Ace of Cups. Yes, she did. She she came at me already turned up to a 10. Lorraine, like, why is she so raging? I don't know. I'm the one that should be raging. My property looks like shit. Yes, everyone hit the like button, please. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes. Fred says, if you're living in an apartment, it's like the whole apartment building is converted to a mental asylum. Well, let me tell you, my whole town is nuts. I'm telling you, I haven't met one normal woman. There's not one. And the guys, they're just as bad. But the women here are totally off the charts nuts. I'm sorry. Like, bring me back to New Jersey because at least the women had brains. At least they were educated. They just wouldn't talk to me. Besides, do any of you guys have social media? I know it's most TIs don't. Well, I'll say that I've been on Facebook for I don't know a long time. I've probably been on Facebook 20 years, like almost when Facebook first started, like old Facebook before Meta, when I really liked Facebook and we'd socialize with my friends on there, my family, but I don't like Facebook anymore. I mean, I do have Facebook because I have, pages there for a long time. I don't want to get rid of the pages, although I got rid of a couple of pages. Oh, yes, yes. Ace of Cups says, you said you have a long wick. She has a very short wick. You did nothing and she explodes. Psycho. They're all like that here. They're all like that. They're nuts. They're totally nuts. And I'm so glad I got it on camera. I had put my phone down because I was picking up things. My neighbor diagonally across the street thought it would be a good idea. This was last year, to prevent her birds from going onto my property, leaving me these owls. But they did nothing. And with all this rain and stuff, and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked that these owls were still there, but those wood logs were everywhere. So how is that possible? That two owls were still there, unharmed, unmoved, were not tipped over, but there was stuff everywhere. My fence was down, but not her two owls. Yes, so I moved the owls back to her property. I figured the owls are not working. And then I figured, are the owls there uh, for nefarious reasons that I'm unaware of? So I just put them back on their property, let them take their owls back. They're not doing anything. And I'm not going to be responsible for her owls if we get another storm that washes stuff away. Although, if they weren't washed away this last time, they were going to get washed away. But I was shocked because her owls did not weigh as much as some of the logs that I picked up. Satan protected his Masonic owls. Owls are highly regarded in Freemasonry. Yes, they are. And I don't find anything wrong with owls. I mean, owls are wonderful. I mean, I really like owls. Yeah, but that is, they do love their owls. Oh, did you see that, Ace of Cups? The other thing, yes, that I was shocked was all those vehicles driving by. I noticed that they were all white too. Yes. Yes, they were all white and they were all the same size, approximately the same size. And they all looked like they were new. There were a couple of them I noticed had words on the side, and then some of them were empty. And then somebody asked me, I don't know if it was you, um, asked if I got to see a license plate. Well, here in Kentucky, people only have their license plates on the back. Like in New Jersey, there are license plates in the front of the vehicle and the back. So that when you're driving, you can see the license plate in your rear view mirror. But here, there are never any license plates in the front, they're only in the back. Yeah, it doesn't really have an effect on me, River Bluff, just like you. Like, I don't care if the car's red. I don't like red cars. I just don't like red cars. My father told me when I was younger that red cars have higher insurance because they're assumed to drive faster than regular cars. So I don't have an interest in a red car, but so it doesn't affect me that way either, just like you. Neither the white cars. Like, I have a white car. I like white cars. Barred owls sounding like monkeys? Oh, I'll have to check it out. Oh, you've got the red car sensitizing? I don't care. I don't really care what color the car is. I mean, I thought it was unusual in New Jersey that my new neighbor, had a bright yellow sports car. I mean, it was like an eyesore, really. Like, it was ugly. And then I saw a very similar car like that here. And it's just ugly. Oh, you're so funny. Who needs Trump's stimulus when McKee has Lorraine? Single handed Lorraine creates many jobs, incomes, and attracts business. I'm keeping these guys in business. Exactly. That's why they don't want me to leave. What will they do when I leave? Oh, they'll have to find a new target. Yes, we have our own military industrial complex here. Those white cars, oh, that's what I was starting to say, is that a subscriber asked me if I got to see any license plate. So I didn't because I was in my outer field. The cars were driving by me. I couldn't see the back of them to get a license plate. But she says if you see the letter G, it means that they're government. I don't know if all the vehicles have a G in the. I think other government vehicles don't have the G. Yeah, I mean it's good that River Bluff that nothing bothers you anymore. It's hard to not be bothered when they're stuffing skinned animals in your mailbox. I mean, that's pretty disgusting. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. I see there are 16 people and 13 thumbs up. So, for anybody who came in a little later, I was reading from a book called Mobbing Emotional Abuse in the American Workplace. Until evil is named, it cannot be addressed. This book names mobbing, a common and bloodless form of workplace mayhem, and proceeds with brilliance to show its roots and possible cures. Yeah, I just purchased this book on, I think it was on eBay. Yeah, dead animals are definitely a different level. Yep. Yeah, con artist says phones being easily hacked is why government's intention is to get everything on mobile app, therefore access everything on own phones. To see the thing with that, and I agree with you, but like I have an older phone and I don't like downloading a lot of apps. And then I get notifications when I want to download an app that says that I don't have my phone doesn't have the capability because it's an older phone. So I can't even download some of the apps to make them operable because of my phone doesn't have that capability. I've cleared up space for the app so I can actually download them for space, but they won't work, and that's the problem. So the government can complain all they want. Let them buy me a new phone then. They can buy me a new phone. I have no problem with them buying me a new phone, giving me a new phone number, but I'm not downloading any more apps. Do you like the Android? What is next red in Pendleton, or just shot off a huge beam of elf right before all these storms? Oh, no, I didn't see that, KG. KG said next red in Pendleton, Oregon, just shot off a huge beam of elf right before all of these storms. Oh, the creepy voice is back. I guess they don't like us discussing some things like weather modification, weather manipulation, geoengineering, all those wonderful keywords. What happened in Montana? I didn't hear. Yeah. STL says all these storms seem like DARPA. Yep. Oh, well, wait. Wait till summer comes. You'll see all the DARPA insects flying around. You try to catch them, and it's like they play the game Catch Me If You Can. Because if you kill one of them, oh my goodness, they're wasting a lot of money. Yeah, I've noticed that the Android has more app options, but iPhone has its upsides as well. Has anybody looked into the Rob Braxman phone? I know that Bobby in Canada, whose YouTube channel is SHP, she does a lot of deep diving into. He wouldn't sell it to you? So Planetary Healing says, when they're done stealing your properties and damaging your life, they start the skit show so that you get discredited in case you speak out. Classic perp routine. Well, I've been speaking out for years now. And Braxman wouldn't sell you his phone. Oh, that's interesting. Connor says, in fact, not long after I inquired about the Braxman phone, he put up the video about TIs. Well, it's really interesting because, like, I was subscribed to him. And then there was one video last year, and it was very upsetting. It was something about TIs, targeted people, that he didn't want to talk about or something. I don't remember what it was, but I got turned off. So I unsubscribed. And then it showed up in my feed again, and I resubscribed. And I do like what he has to say. I mean, he has a lot of really good information. You wanted to purchase his phone and internet router. Yeah, the internet router sounded really good. I don't. I don't get the V2K. I just get, well, I can't even call it tinnitus. I get like radio frequencies in my ears. It's almost like somebody's tuning in. you know? Yeah, I don't hear words though. It's just noise. It's just it's a frequency. And sometimes it's louder than others. And I was looking at Look Out for Charlie. He says that you can record it. He says you have to be in a really, really quiet room and get a digital recorder, like stick it up to your ears. I've not been able to do it because I'm usually so tired at night, I don't think about doing it. And these criminals turn everything off. I'll turn things on at night to listen to music or whatever, and I wake up in the morning and it's turned off. Oh, that's interesting. 2012. That's when I at first thought that I became targeted. Then I realized it was going back to about 2009. The router he's talking about, KG, is Rob Braxman. I don't know if you're familiar with him as a YouTube creator. He's a technology creator. Let me see if I can find his channel. 1 second. 1 second. Let me pull him up here. My laptop is so slow. These criminals made it slow. Like I keep deleting things and it makes no difference. Okay, here he is. Let me give you his link here. Yeah, that's what they did in New Jersey, planetary healing. She says, I noticed they move in around anyone that owns a home and is older and starts working on them until they get taken away. Yeah, so they can take away their home. Well, they should do that to my neighbor. My neighbor has much more property than I do, and their house is like 5 times the size of mine. And they're totally crazy. So they should go take away their property. There are a lot of people around here that have bigger houses and more property than me. I think that they're just going to be next. Yeah, let's see. He's got some links here. He says he's the internet privacy guy, public interest hacker and technologist. He uses his extensive knowledge of cybersecurity and tech to serve the public. I care about privacy. I warn you of digital manipulation, disinformation, and mass surveillance. I also discuss alternative communication modes, especially with a prepper focus. I discuss ham radio, SDR, QRP modes, digital modes when running portable. I'm a general class licensed ham radio operator. I'm a successful software architect and have built many enterprise systems. I also have an open source social media app, Brax.me. I hear my guineas yapping in the chicken coop. Hi, Jerry. Welcome. Planetary Healing says if anyone that's not in the cult stands to inherit money, they start perping them. It's all about money and loosh. Yeah, they're criminals. They're thieves. They're predatory thieves. Well, it's hard. You can't get rid of your phone. I mean, it's so hard to get rid of your phone. I mean, you have no contact with anybody if you'd have no phone. Yeah, I did a video. Let me see if I can find it. There are two different kinds of V2K. There's the voice hearers, and then there's the silent one where you'd hear no words. And it was Max Williams. Let me find it here. 1 second. Here it is. 1 second. Let me grab this. It was in. That's interesting. Yes, yes, more people go to the library and they don't own a computer or a cell phone. Well, there are a couple of reasons for that also, financial reasons. You know, the library is free and internet is expensive. An internet connection, then there's the electricity. Yes, so the man that wrote this, Max Williams, he's in his 80s. He's written a couple of articles that I've read on my channel, and he said that there are two different types of V2K. There's the silent V2K, um, and the voice hearing. He says, I'll read what he said. He says, we know that our attackers employ two types of V2K on us. One, that which is readily heard by the ears and brain, and two, messages sent over a signal too high or too low for the ears and brains to pick up, but go instead into the victim's subconscious. I call the latter the silent V2K. If you want to know whether you're receiving those silent messages, there are various ways to detect them. Inserting your finger deeply into your ear canal and rubbing the insides, sliding a china cup quickly over a ceramic countertop and rubbing the hair stubs at the entrance of your ears. He says, last night while lying in bed, I discovered still another way of detecting the hidden messages, wearing earplugs with a closed mouth. I inhaled and exhaled very strongly and quickly through my nose. The friction picked up the silent message, you want me. The message is all inclusive. It may apply to food, tobacco, liquor, sex, or just about anything else in excess or used the wrong way could harm your health. The messages will be very short and will be continual, as in a loop play tape. You may have to repeat the method for hearing them several times. They sometimes will not be heard the first time. You may also pick up only one word. By continuing to probe, you'll finally be able to discern the entire message. That you don't hear the V2K doesn't mean that you're not receiving silent messages. He says, I know that I was getting the silent V2K for many years before the attackers started using the regular V2K. I would encourage you to use a method for learning to hear the hidden messages, for they are far more dangerous than the easily heard V2K. And he wrote this June 2nd, 2024. Yes, it is pure evil. Oh, Fred, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's crazy. When you're cooking or eating, you get people laughing. I mean, that's what's funny about eating and cooking. I mean, some of this stuff is just so sick and off the charts. I've heard about that dream manipulation. I've experienced that from time to time, if I remember them. Well, I'm fairly convinced that many of these alleged school shooters, these young people who have very high IQs that suddenly go berserko, is that they're targeted. Yes, yes. Yeah, well, these are sexual perverts. These people are perverts. You know, they're into poopy, they're into poop. Let's see. Yes, they use poop in their rituals. Yeah, that's already been documented by Alex Jones of all people. You woke up a few times with someone breathing or snoring into your AirPods. I don't know. These people are just nuts. They're totally nuts. Well, one of my theories is that targeted individuals are sexual paraphilias of these losers. I've never heard of that movie. I'll check it out. The Wicker Man. I'll have to go look for it. Wicker Man. My neighbors are nuts. They really are crazy. And there are some neighbors when I first moved here that said that one person introduced themselves and says, "Whatever you do, do not trust the neighbors." And another person says that your neighbor Mary, they nicknamed her Crazy Mary. So there are people in this neighborhood that uh, are more truthful, but perhaps they get co-opted or get threatened to not contact me or participate. So early on, there were people that were nicer to me, and maybe they were just that was to get information. Exactly. Imagine all the blood on their hands. Well, that's something that's going to be their karma. That's something they're going to have to deal with. And you know what? They think that they're untouchable, but you have to look at history and just study what the mafia does to their informants. And let me see if I can. Oh, oh my goodness. I'm trying to get out of this. Oh, 1973, The Wicker Man, 1973. Let me see here. It looks creepy. It looks a little creepy. Oh, that's horrible. Conrad says if one understands witchcraft, masonry, and global politics and the Bible, even at the basic level, one can come to a good level of understanding of what's going on. Well, I'll tell you that, like before I became targeted and stuff, I knew zero about politics. Zero. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the news. I didn't vote. I've mentioned before, I didn't know what the FBI did. I didn't know about the CIA. I didn't know anything. Zero. I was one of those. I was one of those, just very busy people. It didn't occur to me. I wasn't interested. I'm still not interested in politics. Most Lifetime movie show gang stalking. Um, I don't watch TV, and there are a lot of movies that other people mention are related to what we experience, and I've never watched them. Hi, Tony. Welcome. I've not watched them, or at least I didn't watch them when they came out, and I started watching them now as you guys have made referrals to me. I'll go pick up a trailer or whatever. I never watched The Matrix. Yeah, Conrad, you're really good with this history stuff. History, ancient history, Egyptian, and global politics are the same thing. Pharaohs and kingdoms. The Bible explains these things in details also. Welcome, Tony. We always have a good group of people, interesting conversations. So many intelligent people here. Oh, that's interesting. The reason I got interested in politics is to know your enemy. Before that, I had zero interest because their sole purpose is control. That's it. That's all. Well, that's true. I think The first time I had any interest was, I mean, obviously, I listened to all that BS with the Clintons, when he was having that affair with whatever her name is. I forget her name. The pretty young girl. And then when Obama, and that's what I call him, Obama had that Health Care Act, like I read it and I thought anybody that agrees to this nonsense has got to be out of their minds. Monica Lewinsky, yes, Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, she was being groomed by him. She had a crush. I mean, it's not uncommon for young women. What was she in her early 20s? She had a crush on him. Yeah, his brain control shit. Oh, that was it. Yes, yes. Now okay. I just asked ChatGPT. Obamacare. It was called Obamacare. Oxymoron. It was called the Affordable Care Act. And let me tell you, there was nothing affordable about the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. Zero. It was in 2010. And it was supposed to reduce healthcare costs and improve healthcare quality in the US. The only good thing about it was it would allow young adults to stay on their parents' insurance until the age of 26. But that was it. It was so expensive. It was ridiculous. Yes, I've noticed that. Hi, Lori. Welcome. I know. I'm having the hardest time finding information on the web. I've been then going to, I've been looking up books on eBay to find old books to find topics there. I've been going on to academia.com. I've been going into peer reviewed research and a Google Scholar, and I'm still not even finding stuff. I mean, I used to be able to type something in a search and get dozens and dozens of articles. And you have to wonder if it's being scrubbed from the internet or because we're targeted that they're limiting our ability to search certain topics. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good idea to go to the library and print off old articles from the microfilm. Yeah, the microfilm. Yes, I knew what you meant. Well, I think I've mentioned on a couple of my videos that years ago, I worked in a temporary agency, and they sent me to this publishing company to edit some of their textbooks. And I figured, okay, we're going to have to check for typographical errors and punctuation and stuff, but that wasn't it. We were just substituting entire paragraphs of text to completely change the meaning of the text. It had nothing to do with punctuation or spelling. I thought it was really bizarre. I didn't really understand the ramifications of it that back then, other than they were changing the meaning in textbooks. Okay, so Conrad says, therefore, if a TI comes to understand ancient history, especially Egyptian history, and also biblical scripture, it reveals all about what's going on today and reveals the Freemasons' intention. Planetary Healing says, we just watched a Lifetime movie where the sheriff and the skit neighbors were trying to get this woman admitted as crazy because they wanted her large inheritance. Well, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure that there are people around here that have a lot more money than I do. They definitely have more land, bigger houses. So I don't know what the deal is. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. Because the only thing I can understand about the Freemasons' intention is to preserve the existing order of things. I don't think it's only that. I don't think it's only. I think it's about control. I don't know. It seems like it's an organized crime organization to me. It's definitely patriarchal. Yes, it absolutely patriarchal. But I think it's even beyond the patriarchy. I think it has to do with supremacy. It's like a white supremacists. It's organized crime. Yes, anything secret is a cult. Well, they're obviously occultists. That's what a cult means. Yes, yes. Well, and 33-degree Mason defectors, whistleblowers who have spoken out about their quote unquote secret society. It's a perp club. Yes, it's a perp club. Why is it a secret? Doesn't need to be a secret. Oh, tell me what kind of advertisements you see on my channel. You know what the advertisements I keep seeing? The paleo meat sticks. Paleo meat sticks. What else do I see? I see one for supporting Israel. KKK. Okay, it's the 11 letter on the alphabet equals 33. Oh, interesting. Hi, Nike Slim. Welcome. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Earlier we were talking about mobbing. The club owns all of their assets. If you don't join, you're targeted until they take your assets. That's simple. That's what they did to my father. And that's what I found out recently with my father's inventions. And I didn't know this because I wasn't living with my father at the time. I was already older. My father was receiving threatening phone calls to his home to give up his patents, to give up his ideas. They were threatening him on the phone. Oh, your family. Oh, that's interesting. Your family are Masons, but were never asked to go 33-degree. They are good people, but can't get to the. Well, I had one of my best lawyers ever was a Mason. He wore the ring and everything. I didn't really know anything about it at the time, but I saw the ring. I'd asked him about it, and he said that he was a Mason. KG, what is KG saying? KG says, oh, I'm sorry, Lorraine. I know how hard it is to find out things after the fact. and know that it's part of what's happening to you. Yes, yeah, I'm just finding out that my father, I mean, I had a suspicion that my father was targeted because of what happened to his wife, who was not my mother, who developed brain cancer and then got blinded and died. Made no sense to me. They didn't even have cell phones then. But I found out just this week that my father was receiving phone calls, threatening phone calls about his inventions and ideas. They were stealing his inventions, stealing them. Like my father drew the prototype designs for the research scientists in the um, in the International Research Department at IBM. And sometimes when he was drawing the prototype designs for the researchers, he would tweak them and improved them. And the research scientists loved that about him. They would invite him to their home. And he would be invited on the weekends, and he would bring my brother and I to their homes. I remember. I'm just reading what you're writing here. Planetary Healing says, if you join any cult, you surrender all rights to your assets. That's simple. Even says in their protocols. But that's their protocols, right? That's their protocols. Their protocols don't apply to other people who have their own protocols, right? Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, I'm just finding this out about my father now. And my father was brilliant. He was very unique. He was creative. He was inventive. He was like a more than a jack of all trades. I mean, he was just such a unique guy. KG Dub says, Jerry, you can contact your state insurance commissioner and find out what policies are connected to your SA number. I don't get any commercials like that. I keep getting the same commercials over and over and over and over again about ebooks, about donating to Israel, about Paleo Valley meat sticks. Those are the commercials that I get over. Oh, and then I get a couple of animal, dog videos. Oh, do you hear something in the background now? Is it we have a creepy voice that creeps in. Do you hear a creepy voice? It's raining again. The creepy voice is back. Oh no. Yes, exactly. They targeted men who created cars that run on water. Yes, my father invented a lot of stuff. I actually thought he only invented this carbine, but I found out this week that he invented a lot of stuff because I wasn't living with him at the time. So I didn't know. Like I'm older than my biological brother only by 2 years. But my half brother is 20 years younger than me. So he has a totally different experience of my father than I did. Oh, you hear a sound. It's different than the creepy voice. Oh my! You hear the creepy voice, but not. It's not loud or distinct. It's a chat bot. Okay, it is. It's absolutely more proof that they target intelligent people. Yes, yes, and unfortunately, yes, our entire family's targeted. I didn't know. Like my brother, my biological brother, 2 years younger than me, he's been getting V2K for a long time. And I only found out about this after my mother passed away. He said when he goes to sleep at night, he shuts all the circuit breakers off, turns off the phone, like all electrical. Yes, 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 absolutely. Yes, we're all like intelligent in different ways. But I did a survey a while back about personality types, and there's a large percentage of us are at the let me find it for you guys so that I don't have to 1 second. We are the rarest personality types. That's why people don't get us. That's why the veterinarian won't get me. She says, "You're not friends with my friends and I don't get you." Well, you're not going to get me because we're the rarest personality types in the country. And if you're not one of us, then you don't belong. That's the way I look at it. Here, 1 second. Let me type this in here for you. Well, I think I mentioned that my ex husband's divorce lawyer had the audacity to personality test me during the divorce proceedings. 1 second. Let me see. Here you go. And here's another one. Yeah. Yeah, it's really bizarre, you know? It was very bizarre. But going through a divorce that it took 3 years, 3 plus years was it was so stressful. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought it was odd, but I had done personality testing back in the day in human resources. So I figured that was just something that people did. Thank you for sharing that planetary healing. I'm not going to repeat what you just wrote because they too will end up catching that word. Uh, that all cults are a violation of free will, freedom. Cults are about bondage. They bound themselves to the mortal world of the. Yeah, that noise, that the creepy, I call it the creepy voice. Um a couple of weeks ago, maybe no, it was probably a couple of months ago. I got quiet and somebody recorded the creepy voice and I was able to upload it to the channel.